Hi, happy World Poetry Day from Antigua and Barbuda. I'm Joanne Hillhouse. I am an author, and sometimes I have to admit that poetry is not something I'm very confident about, but it is something that I love to read and write and share. And it being World Poetry Day, I thought I would do the latter, share, um, share some of my poetry and share poetry of people that I like. Um, I did not plan this, but I will be pulling. I mean, I didn't plan this in terms of I'm going to be reading this in that order, but I will be pulling from a couple of places. There's a there's a Wadadli Pen reading room and gallery. Wadadli Pen is the online platform of the Wadadli Pen Prize, which is a program I started back in 2004 to nurture and showcase the literary arts in Antigua and Barbuda. The Without platform does a number of things. It's a repository of literature from Antigua and Barbuda, news, arts news out of the Caribbean, and in the reading are the things that I come across that I enjoy, from nonfiction, fiction, conversations, art, visual art, to poetry. So I'll be sharing from the poetry section of that database. There are about 44 reading room and galleries on Without Defend at this point, and so you to check those out. I will also be pulling some of my poetry, some of my published poetry, from the Antigua and Barbuda writings in journals, showcases, and other such platforms. That's another database on Without Defend website. So I'll be pulling from that. So where do I start? I will start with Guyanese poet Grace Nichols, who recently received the Queen's Medal. Um, her poem "Holding My Bees" is one of the first sort of Caribbean poems that I sort of came across and fell in love with, and it's still a favorite to this day. So I'll start with "Holding My Bees" by Grace Nichols. Unforgiving as the course of justice, inevitable as my stars and fate, I am here, a woman, with all my life strung out like beads before me. It isn't privilege or pity that I seek. It isn't reverence or safety, quick happiness or purity, but the power to be what I am, a woman, charting my own future, a woman holding my deeds in my hand. That poem spoke to my, I think, either teenage or young adult self when I came across it, and it still speaks to me today. So what do we want as women except to be allowed to be fully who we are? And Grace Nichols, who is this year a recipient of the Queen's Medal, um, spoke to it all those years ago. So should I read something of mine next? I'm going to see where I can find excerpts from that are available online. Um, I hope. Let's see. Let's keep talking while I look. La 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 la. Yeah, I'm not very confident about the writing of poetry, but I do tend to do it quite a bit for someone who is unsure of herself about it. All right, I'll read this. This is the last poem of mine that was published. It was published in BIM Art for the 21st Century, which I believe is the longest surviving um, Caribbean arts journal. Stand to be corrected on that. But so it's always kind of and because I know it's rigorously edited and it's not that easy to get into, it's always kind of a trip whenever I get selected. Yes, you can write poetry. Esther said so, and Esther Phillips, who's the editor, is the poet laureate of Barbados. So this is Antigua at Night. I mean, The sky is a blue hue of still ink, heavy like a blanket, warm comfort against the mild October chill, and instead of silence, song. The cricket, some keeping rhythm, some carrying a melody, every gap filled with sound, and in the distance, dance hall, and over it all, the three-quarter moon. So that's Antigua at night. And to be clear, that's Antigua on one random night, whatever night it was that I wrote that. There are many nights and many different iterations of nights in Antigua and in the Caribbean. So that is Antigua at night. I'm going to read something next from Jamaican poet Julius Gunter. Yes, I find his poetry very raw and riveting, cuts to the bone of a lot of pain. This one is called Mother Suffered from Memories. When she was 14, she fled Kendall on a market truck to Kingston. The night blew air in her wounds. She forgave Grandma, then a single mother of six, who fed her children with one hand while choking them with the other. The day her practiced palm cracked my cheekbone, I crawled into grief. When I blamed her for my inability to love, she reminded me of the simple brokenness of everybody, the lie of mothering, things we can't rely on. These days her knees are falling apart, from years of bending to raise us up into dreams. I no longer seek penitence for her beating, shaming, neglect. Mother suffered from memories. Even though I've read that one before, it still hit me in my gut. It still hit me in my gut. The Reading Room and Gallery is not actually, it doesn't actually publish poems, it's like a third party, it links to third party sites. So it will link to where the poem is available online so you can read the whole thing for yourself. This poem by Julius Gunter links to ANNLY.org, but the links are all in the reading room and gallery of the Wadadley Pen website. The Wadadley Pen website name is, or the address rather, is wadadleypen.wordpress.com. And once you're there, you just go to the reading room and gallery. Wadadley Pen, WADADLIPEN dot WordPress, WORDPRESS.com. So Julius's poem actually speaks to, I suppose, a reality for many of us in the Caribbean who grew up under tough, quote unquote, discipline, um, and sort of, for me, the coming to terms with the cycle of it and perhaps the lack of resolution that you will never get a I'm sorry or anything like that. Because it's just it's just the way it was. And people who did it to you had it done to them, and on and on and on. This one is by Sapphire Sinclair. I apologize, I don't remember which country Sapphire. Oh, Sapphire is also from Jamaica. Um, this one is called Double America. Every black, it has an opening. The hour of the barbarian is at hand. The modern barbarian, the American hour, in its there discourse on colonialism. The poem begins. Every black life goes the way of the bison eventually, forgotten, bone thudded to earth, a gash of weed, pouring yellow through my river used to be. My father fretful, dying because he was hungry. You and you, daily, weekly, passing past his living body, cold in the street. Here, invisible is a way of being. My mother quiet sleeping inside your mansion. My mother sullen, dreaming of a nation that might someday dream me, America. I am poor in all ways fixed and unfixable. My poverty a bullet point, and a bullet hole, endangered. My body soars its dark, unseemly flare across these decades, shot through with blue, chained face to face. My sister and I pleading, look at me. Am I a woman's right, America? I am a woman's rights American. Chained face to face, my sister and I pleading, look at me. Unseemly flare across this decade, chapter with blues and the bullet hole, endangered, my body soars, its dark ways fixed and unfixable. My poverty a bullet point that might someday dream me America. I am poor in all your mansions. My mother sullen, dreaming of a nation, is a way of being. My mother quiet, sleeping inside, past, his living body cold in the street, here, invisible, because he was hungry. You and you, daily, weekly, wherever used to be. My father fretful, dying, his clipped invisible wings down the parched highway, buck full with their good lead. The last body will wake goring yellow to my brother's skull in the desert, forgotten, bone threaded to earth, a gash of weed. Every black life goes the way of the bison, eventually. Woo! Oh man, she said a word. She said a word. She said a word. I'm always amazed by the power of poetry and by truly great poets to tell a whole story and a half in so few words. And of course, that's the dream, that's the goal to be able to write that poem that captures your everything in that moment. Um, I don't hit that goal yet, but I keep trying. I keep trying. I keep trying. Um, what should I read next? Let me see if I can find this one. Um, this is Grief by Yvonne Weeks. This is the Art Etc. website. The print is smaller and the eyes are not getting better. It is easier to write a poem than to grieve. Much easier to Google words to rhyme with grief. Easier to create a clever line of toe-curling assonance, even when it lands alone curled up in a dark corner. A poem, like the cat, easily rises with new power to make what is visible to ordinary people invisible. But grief, it hates the music, shudders in the sunlight, rings you your soul case, provides you with sleepless nights, leaves the tongue parched with tears, saltier than saltfish, with sweaty armpits, while worms crawl underneath your fingertips. And then the pastor's words, death, where is your sting? Bring bite into your mouth and have no meaning. Grief by Yvonne Weeks. Many of us who will grieve know the truth of that poem. It is easier to write a poem than to grieve. So true. So I guess I should read another one of mine. Um, uh, um, let me think, let me think. Do we need a something a bit lighter, or do we continue to go down that darker thing? Let me see. I am scrolling as I read, um, as I check to see what to read rather. All right, this is um, a poem of mine, "The Opposite of Grief" is what carnival. This is a carnival piece. It's called Children Melly. Children Melly is a calypso song by one of our great calypso poets and humorist in Antigua and Barbuda, King Obstinate. And it goes a little bit like this. In a nutty little Johnny, Minala, Minala, that you can tell me all the moment is today. You know what? Look it up on YouTube. I'm not doing it justice. Okay, so this is called Children Melody. Eyes bright, heart pounding. I lived in Jesus. Peanuts roasting, music pumping. Upsy prancing about in pigtails. Carnival. That is in a dream. That's Children Melody by me. That was published in Moko, Caribbean Arts and Letters. Another short one by me is, if I can find it, okay, I can't find it. I'm going to move on. Fun with stuff being available on the internet is that basically disappears from the internet sometimes. You don't remember so many broken links. Um, it's called Summer One, and I wrote it in response to a painting by Glenroy era. Or did he write, or did he paint? No, I think he painted his Summer One in response to this poem. So you can find his Summer One painting on Tongues of the Ocean, where this poem was published. I was guest editor for an Antigua and Barbuda edition of Tongues of the Ocean, which is a Bahamian online publication back in 2014. And the cover image is Glenroy's painting, which he painted in response to Summer One. Summer One. And real men plant trees, quote unquote, that's in quotation marks. It's a sign that I see around the island from time to time. So real men plant trees, and boys make wheelies on winding country streets, and girls with plastic buckets search mango groves, kidneys, and families beeline to the beach. And she heard goats as they bleat, and this winding summer day is one to keep. Summer one. Real men plant trees, and boys make wheelies on winding country streets, and girls with plastic buckets search mango groves for kidneys, and families beeline to the beach. And she heard goats as they bleat, and this winding summer day is one to keep. You know those days when it's like a picture, and the image that he painted in response to that was actually of of children playing cricket on the beach, which just captured the mood of the poem so well, in my opinion. Um, so that was another one. Let me see if I have any other poems by any other people that I can share. There's so many favorites. There's so many favorites, and I hope that you will check out the Reading Room and Gallery because there's so much writing by us, of us, for us to discover. Um, but in the meantime, I'll try to continue sharing just a little teaser, just a teaser, a little teaser. Hopefully, but at the time, check a little more, check a little more. As you can see, we write about all sorts of things. Okay, so I just wrote summer one, and this one is, let's see if I can find it. This one is Weekend at the Beach by Lilawati Manurame. Let me see if I can find anything on her. No, I'm not finding anything on her, but she's a Caribbean poet. Um, Filigrees, lacy curls of quiet coal, swirl the shallow blue-green sea. Parallel, silver bird and sailboat wife, a theme that cannot be cracked. Paper nest, open combs and brood-filled cells, marble knots, their spinning set. At sunset, when sunlight morphs into dust, flap start, mosquito roulette. No bird songs underscore the new moonlight. Melodies by moaning gongs, troubled dreams, twitching of unseen creatures, eyes dance open in sunbeams. This is actually a winning poem, um, poetic form challenge in Writers Digest. So I found that one on the Writers Digest website and decided to share it. Okay, so that was Little Water Money Ramen, and that's in the reading room and gallery 35. As I told you, there's 44 views, so these go all the way back. I'll try to find a few more just to share a little poetry on this World Poetry Day. I hope you're having a good World Poetry Day, and I hope you take a little time to put a little poetry into your life. If you're in the Caribbean, you know that poetry is all around us because we live and breathe music, and music is poetry. Um, okay, this one is by Lucille Clifton. It's called Won't You Celebrate With Me? Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. Ooh, love that one. Love that one because we're fighting to live every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. We're fighting to live. It takes a lot of boldness to be vulnerable, put your pain on display. So respect to the poet every time, every time, every time. Respect to the poet. I suppose I should share some of what I've written in this class. What I've read of myself to this point is stuff that I wrote and published before. But if I'm talking about boldness and vulnerability, perhaps it behooves me to share some of what I've been writing more recently that is unpublished and unvetted. So I dare? I'm going to read this one. This is at the Poetry Foundation by Claude McKay, Jamaican poet from the Harlem Renaissance era. If We Must Die. This is a popular one. This is a good one, and I guess my last of other poets on. If we must die, let it not be like dogs. Sorry, starting over. If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while around us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mark at our cursed lot. If we must die, nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and to their thousand blows deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying, but fighting back. We hope that when life asks each of us, we will be equal to those moments. We hope. I had not planned to share this, but it seems I'm reading poetry from the Caribbean. It seems only right that I should read Calypso. So I'm going to read this one. It's Pledge by Short Shirt. I won't sing it. I'll just read the lyrics. So, after hundreds of years of slavery and colonialist domination, we are now politically free in an independent nation. The dreams of our forefathers have finally come true, and the battles they have fought are now benefiting me and you. If you really want to show your appreciation, raise your voices with me and this pledge, let's sing along. We pledge to be good citizens from now on, casting away victimization. Corruption will cease, nepotism decrease, throughout the whole nation. Our country then will be not just a society, but a just society. Let this be our pledge. But please beware, my countrymen, of the trappings of false liberty. For true liberation does not only lie in constitutionality. We have gained nothing if all we do is pass from bondage to a subtler task, with foreign shafts with their fangs exposed, surround us with promises of a brighter world. For much too long have we the yoke of slavery borne. Now that master days have gone, let's pledge to settle right all the wrong. And in the chorus again we pledge to be good, 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 good citizens from now on, casting away victimization. Corruption will cease, nepotism decrease throughout the whole nation. Our country then will be not just a society, but a just society. Let this be our pledge. Gird up your loins ever vigilantly to curb injustice, graft, and vagrancy. The rights of each one must be recognized so that none will feel they're ostracized. Equal opportunity for everyone, each giving the other a helping hand. We want no more exploitation from either foreign or the local land. We need our children yet unborn. So Antiguans and Barbudans, let's pledge to maintain our freedom. We pledge to be good, 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 good citizens from now on, casting away victimization. Corruption will cease, nepotism decrease throughout the whole nation. Our country then will be not just a society, but a just society. Let this be our pledge. I actually remember dancing to this song as a child. It was one of the songs that would have come out after our independence in 1981. And we would have independence programs at the school every year. And I was a student at Holy Family Primary School. And I remember one year, I was a part, my extracurricular activity was dance. And so we would dance during my pledge. I can hear it, I can see it. I can't do it, but I can see it. Um, so yeah, it was, at the time of our early independence, it was the dream, it was the hope. And we are still young in our independence, so, keep hope alive. All right, so should I share something of me? I'm going to see if I feel like sharing anything. These are all, I don't know, new, untouched, unedited, and nervous, but I will. This one is called Sounds of Blackness. Not often enough, but every now and again, the men in blue and grey and black are caught flat-footed in their heavy boots by the inconvenient realization that the numb person discarded like old garbage have smutty, that maybe they walk around the world in suits caked on unlike unbelonging, and maybe their mind is moody, but erasing them will take effort, and then have smutty. And somebody will say, long time you see so and so way. He may be have no fixed address or other stories you spin, but he know where to find his people when he needs them, and they make sure to check upon him when he's roaming. And when them they see, them will ask Muddy. And when they see your beauty, will be a witness with their iPhones, and they will raise their voices, and other eyes will turn to the scene. And when that happens, if there's to be any justice, you will find a community of people turning eyes of inquiry in your direction, and your systems may protect you this time. Or maybe this time you will be brought to account. And if there is justice in the world, and you can't often count on it, you will sit in the realization within the walls with people like him, that it is the man without feeling for his people who is the non-person. That was written in response to a specific thing. And Um, it actually that thing actually also rendered a story. Um, there is something else. No, I've been on half an hour. I'll just end with something lighter. Um, I'll just end. This one is called What Does Quiet Sound Like? So I'll do this and then we'll end. What does quiet sound like? Something sticking in the glass. Fish disturbing the glass like stillness of the water. A lizard blubbing. Mongoose at play, scurrying on the foot in the bush. The bickering of the bees and birds that fire them. Their sound, bass.